The bathroom was silent except for the sound of your shallow breathing. You were sitting on the edge of the bathtub, your hands trembling as you held the small stick in your hands. Two lines. Your heart raced with a mix of excitement and nervousness, filling your chest. You stared at the pregnancy test, unable to believe it. After weeks of feeling off, you had finally decided to take the test, and now the result was undeniable. Your lips quivered as a soft smile formed. I'm pregnant. You whispered to yourself, your hand instinctively resting on your stomach. The thought of telling Jungkook made your heart flutter. He had always been fiercely protective and loving, even in his dangerous world as a mafia boss. But this news, this would change everything. You hurriedly got dressed. Your excitement was bubbling over. Jungkook was in his study, but you couldn't wait. You need to tell him now. Jungkook was in the middle of a tense discussion with his men. The shipment of weapons they had been waiting for was delayed, and the Coast Guard was patrolling the harbor. If we don't secure the shipment by tonight, we are risking exposure, Namjoon said. His tone was sharp. Jungkook leaned against his desk, his eyes scanning the map. We'll divert it to the secondary route. Taeyong, you and Hosok handle the Coast Guard distractions. Namjoon, I want you to. In the middle of this heavy tension, the door creaked open, turning all the heads in the same direction. You hesitated to see so many of his men from the team, but ignoring them, you looked at Jungkook. JK, I have a news for you. Jungkook's sharp gaze flickered to his men, who exchanged uneasy glances. Meeting like this were sacred to him. No interruptions, no distractions. This wasn't just about secrecy, it was about safety. Jungkook knew the danger his work carried, and he did everything in his power to keep you away. But you were his wife, and for you, he tried to remain calm. He exhaled slowly, his tension easing just slightly, and walked towards you. Wine, he said softly. His voice was low so only you could hear. This isn't the place for you. We'll talk later, okay? Your brows furrowed in frustration. No, JK, I need to tell you now. It's important. He glanced at his men again. He could see the discomfort in their stances. Jungkook had always been strict about keeping you away from this room, away from the dangerous conversations that happened here. This study was where plans were made, deals were struck, and threats were managed. It wasn't a place for the woman he loved more than life itself. Ryan, we'll talk later. I promise, but you know I don't like you being in this room. It's not safe. He crossed your arms. Jungkook, I know you have rules about this place, but this can't wait. It's. He cut you off, his frustration finally showing. How many times do I have to tell you, Ryan? You can't just walk into this room without knocking. This is serious business, and I can't have any distractions right now. The sharpness in his tone made you flinch, and the room grew silent. His men looked away, pretending not to notice the tension between you two, but their discomfort was visible. Jungkook instantly regretted his words, his heart sinking when he saw the hurt in your eyes, but the damage was done. Wayanam, you held out your hand before he finishes. Do you do your important business? I'm leaving. Saying that, you walked upstairs, angrily stomping your feet. Jungkook stood frozen, his jaw clenched. The silence in the room was deafening. Boss, should we? Jungkook raised a hand to stop him. Handle the rest without me. Taeyang finalized the plan. Hosok, take over. Namjoon, ensure security at the docks. Are you not coming? Jungkook looked at him. Do you think I can now? I'm sorry, but you guys have to handle. I can't leave her like this. I shouted at her for no reason. It's okay, go and talk to her. We'll handle. Jungkook forced a quick smile and nodded. Thanks, Hyung. And he left from there. Jungkook was just after you, but he missed his chance before you already locked the door from inside, leaving him standing outside. He knew it's near to impossible to make it up to you once you get mad. Why, sweetheart, open the door, he said, knocking slightly, but you stayed silent, crossing your arms tightly over your chest. Baby, please, I'm sorry. Let me come inside. You didn't answer. A moment passed, and you heard him sigh deeply. I know I messed up. I shouldn't have spoken to you like that. I was in the middle of something important, something dangerous. Please understand why I reacted that way. Finally, you spoke, your voice quiet but firm through the door. You always have an excuse, Jungkook. It's always about your work. When is it ever going to be about us? His chest tightened at the pain in your voice. It's about us, Ryan. Everything I do, all of it is for you, to keep you safe. He shook your head even though he couldn't see you. You could have listened to me for just 1 minute, Jungkook. And talking about future, stop dreaming. You're going to be left alone with your man if you keep acting like that. I didn't mean to make you feel that way. You're the most important person in my life, sweetheart. Please open the door so we can talk. Forget about it. I don't want to talk to you. Jungkook sighed again, placing his hand on the door. You know I don't let anyone interrupt me during meetings, Swayan, but you're the only person I had ever let in. I didn't send you away because I don't care. I was just caught off guard. You stayed quiet. Sweetheart, please, I can't stand it when you're upset with me. I'm sorry, okay, I was wrong. Just don't shut me out like this. You leaned your back against the door, feeling your anger start to fade a little. Then why do you do things that upsets me? Okay, I'm sorry. This will never happen again, and I mean it. I'll spend my whole life making it up to you if I have to. Just let me in, Ryan. Let me fix this. Finally, you turned the lock, and the door opened slightly. Jungkook stood there, looking at you with a mix of relief and guilt. Before you could say anything, he stepped inside. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You mean everything to me, Ryan. I'll do better, I promise. You huffed dramatically, stepping away from Jungkook's embrace just as he tried to hug you. Crossing your arms, you narrowed your eyes at him, feigning annoyance. Don't touch me. Jungkook blinked in surprise, his hand freezing mid-air. Sweetheart, he started softly, but you crossed your arms and turned away, refusing to look at him. Don't sweetheart me. Just because I've opened the door doesn't mean I have forgiven you. You have lost your chance. Jungkook's brows furrowed and a tiny amused smile tugged at the corner of his lips. Despite the situation, he knew he was in trouble, but he couldn't help but find your angry wife act adorable. Come on, sweetheart. He tried taking a cautious step towards you. I said I was sorry. I didn't mean to yell at you. It was just a lot of pressure with the guys in the room and forget it. You cut him off, throwing your hands in the air. I don't even want to tell you anymore. It's not like you care. Cook's smile faded, replaced with genuine guilt. He ran a hand through his messy hair, sighing. That's not fair. Of course I care. You just caught me off guard earlier and excuses. You interrupted again, spinning around to face him. It's always about your work, your man, your business. I wanted to tell you something important, Jungkook, and you couldn't even give me 1 minute of your time. I'm giving you all my time now, he said softly. His voice sounded almost pleading. There's no one else here, just you and me. You glared at him. Too late. Jungkook stepped closer again, his hands stuffed into his pockets like a guilty child. Okay, fine. Punish me, yell at me, throw things at me, make me sleep on the couch. But at least tell me what you wanted to say first. No, you don't deserve to know, you said stubbornly, turning away again. Ryan. Jungkook whined, his deep voice taking on a boyish tone as he walked around to stand in front of you. Don't be like this. I'll go crazy if you don't tell me. You raised an eyebrow. Good, go crazy. He groaned dramatically, throwing his head back. Why are you so mean to me? I already said I was sorry. What more do you want? When did I ask you to apologize to me? Just go and do your work with your boys. I'm just a wife, not someone very important. He back hugged you while you tried to remove his hands from your waist. That's enough punishment, my baby girl. I promise I won't talk to you like that again. Please don't be mad and tell me what did you want to tell me. What news was it? You freed yourself from his arms and turned towards him. Maybe you should stop being a jerk during your meetings. And these techniques of yours to risk me won't work anymore. Really? So I'm not charming to you anymore, huh? You rolled your eyes while he sighed, coming closer to you. Okay, deal. No more meetings, no more yelling. Just tell me, please. You stayed silent, letting him stew for a moment longer. Why, Ian? He said again, stepping closer until you could feel the warmth of his presence. Whatever it is, I promise it matters to me. You matter to me. I'll listen always. You bit your lip trying to keep up your tough act, but his words and the sincerity in his eyes melting already. But you were enjoying teasing him. Fine, you said finally, but still kept your arms crossed. But you better remember this next time you yell at me. I'll tattoo it on my brain. So, what's the big news? He looked so curious and excited, and not the same Jungkook who was so serious a while ago in the meeting room. You hesitated, suddenly feeling shy. I I was going to tell you that. Jungkook's eyes widened, his lips parting slightly as he leaned in, eagerly waiting for your next words. Yes, yes, he urged, practically bouncing on his feet. I was going to tell you, you paused dramatically, letting a mischievous smirk play on your lips, that you forgot to take the trash out this morning. Jungkook blinked, stunned into silence for a second, then he groaned, dragging a hand down his face. Ryan, seriously? What? Do you think I would tell you that easily after how you yelled at me? You said, walking towards the bed while he followed you. I already apologized and promised to never do that again. Now don't stretch it, sweetheart. He shrugged innocently, enjoying his flustered reaction. Well, it is important, don't you think? Or are my household complaints not worth your time either? Jungkook let out a frustrated chuckle, stepping closer to you again. You're impossible, he muttered, his lips twitching into a reluctant smile. Am I? You seemed pretty eager to listen a minute ago. What changed? He pinched the bridge of his nose, shaking his head with a smile, tugging at the corner of his lips. All right, fine, I deserve that, but I'm serious, Wine. Please stop teasing me and just tell me what's the real news. You tilted your head, pretending to think again. I don't know, Jungkook. Maybe I should just keep it to myself. You seem to be handling things perfectly fine without me. He let out an exaggerated groan and grabbed her hands gently. Sweetheart, you are killing me here. I'm sorry for earlier, okay? I was wrong to push you away. You're more important than any meeting or business deal. Please just tell me. Sincerity melted your playful defenses, and you couldn't help but smile. Fine, he said, rolling your eyes dramatically. I'll stop torturing you. Thank God. He sighed, his shoulders sagging with relief. Suddenly, you started to feel nervous as this was a very big news for both of you, and you already knew how he would react. Jungkook, I'm pregnant. Jungkook stood there, his mind was racing as the words you had spoken echoed in his ears. The room seemed to fade around him, and in that instant, it felt as though everything had shifted. The news you had just given him was a dream he had never dared to imagine becoming reality. He had always pictured a future with you, a future where the two of you shared everything, a family built on love and trust. But to actually hear those words, to know that the love of his life was carrying his child, left him breathless. For a few moments, he was frozen in place, unable to move as he processed the magnitude of what you had just revealed. The joy, the disbelief, the overwhelming love he felt for you all collided in his chest, and it was as though the air had been knocked from his lungs. His heart raced. A mixture of emotions swirling through him, shock, happiness, and an almost desperate need to hold on to this precious moment. This was more than he had ever imagined, more than he had ever hoped for. The thought of becoming a father, of having a child with you, the woman he loved with every part of his being, was a dream that now stood in front of him, real and tangible. He had always known that you were the one, that no one else could ever hold his heart the way you did. But to now have a family, to share that bond with you, it was beyond anything he could have ever prepared for. The idea of a future together, raising a child in the love and warmth you had always shown, filled him with a sense of peace he hadn't known before. He closed his eyes, his breath shaky as he took in the weight of it all. He thought about how he had spent countless nights imagining what it would be like raising a family, sharing his life with you in the most intimate way possible. But now it was no longer just a thought or a wish, it was real. You were carrying his child, the start of everything he had ever dreamed of. With a soft, breathless laugh, he wrapped his arms around you, holding you close. There were no words that could truly express the depth of what he was feeling. His heart swelled with an overwhelming love, not just for you, but for the little life that would soon join the two of you. Oh my god, did I hear this right? His hand shook slightly as he cupped your face, his thumbs brushing away the tear that had escaped. Are we going to be parents? You could feel the rush of emotions in his touch, the tenderness in his words as he searched your eyes for confirmation. His heart seemed to be pounding in his chest, each beat louder than the last as the reality of your news finally sank in. You nodded with a warm smile. Yes, we are going to be parents. You are becoming a father soon, JK. He let out a shaky breath, his lips curling into a stunned, joyful smile. A baby with you, he murmured, as if saying the words aloud made them more real. We are really doing this, aren't we? Tears welled in his eyes as his voice cracked with the weight of his emotions. I've always imagined this moment, but never thought it would feel like this. It's beyond anything I could have ever dreamed. He kissed your forehead softly, his lips stayed there, as if savoring the moment. I love you so much, and now I get to love our child too. This is everything. Jungkook closed his eyes for a moment, overwhelmed with the weight of it all. You smiled and placed your hand on his cheek. You have always been my everything to Jungkook, and now this little one is just the next step in our journey together. I can't imagine doing this with anyone else. His eyes glistened with emotion. I don't deserve you, but I promise I'll spend every day of my life making sure you know how much I love you, how much I love both of you. You have brought so much light into my life. I'll never be able to thank you enough. Jungkook, you don't need to thank me. You have given me everything I ever needed. You are the reason for all the happiness in my life. Now we get to share that with our child. He pulled you into a tight embrace, his voice filled with awe. I swear I'll do everything for you both. I'll be the best father. I'll give you both the world. I can't believe this is really happening. You smile through your tears. It's real, Jungkook, and we are in this together forever.